Om Vasudev Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita in chapter 3. Chapter is known as Karma Yoga, the yoga of action. In 27th verse, Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimudhatma karta hamiti manyate. All actions are performed by the gunas of Prakriti. But if one's intellect is dull due to inflated egoism, he feels that I am the doer. Let's enter deep into this statement of Lord Krishna. All the scriptural writings are condensed and crystallized wisdom. To bring the crystal near your nose, see how it evaporates. All actions, whenever you think of actions, thought, word, deed, actions begin with the deep within yourself through sankalpas, various ideas, thoughts. The next stage of the action is to verbalize your thoughts. See, first your head comes with a stress. You don't know what it is. Lots of restlessness. Now become aware of the problem. Now we give words to those problems. Even before you speak, you have already started using words in your mind. When it happens from abstract to concrete, very difficult to know. Give a very simple idea. You are feeling distress. The feeling of distress comes into the state of words, not in the beginning. In the beginning, it's just some discomfort. But it's impacting your mind. But now, immediately remember, I saw that person. The way the nastily person looked at me. Just giving very crude illustration, because easy to give. Memories come into your mind and you start verbalizing it. If you are a poet, you will start writing poetry. A musician, music will flow, giving expression to what is happening. Intellectual, you start noting down your ideas. So you are bringing karma of the thought and dealing with it. Even at this level, though you are not expressing it, you are creating karmas for yourself. Karma at the very deeper level. But I'm leading you to understand. Someone says, since karmas are bad, I won't do karma, I will just sit. But while you are sitting, doing no karma, your mind is working. You are blaming people for having deprived you from not doing akarma. Or you are blaming your karmas. You are thinking of which astrologer I must go to understand myself, etc., etc. So karmas continue to occur, even from the thought level. Sometimes it may be ineffective, something very simple, little waves. But sometimes it becomes a source of a terrible movement in your life. Something comes in your thought and it becomes your sankalpa. You want to pursue it. In the beginning, it was that a thought wave, vritti. At vritti level, you could have smashed. But once it has become intensified, it is going to smash you. Let me give you again the cycle of the mind. The deepest level of activity comes from samskaras, impressions. Impressions are like seeds of karmas that you have gathered through many lives. And the quantity of samskaras cannot be imagined. That's all there in your unconscious. This is known as sanchita karma, accumulated storehouse of karma. Out of sanchita karma, a pinch goes to form your prarabdha karma, fructifying karma, karma that has given birth to your present embodiment. Your body-mind complex has evolved out of one pinch of vast storage of karmas. That pinch of karma is called prarabdha. Prarabdha karma determines jati, ayu, and bhoga. Jati means what type of family. You are going to be born in the family of musicians, scientists, business people, or what type? Farmers. Because following the Indian tradition, they always work on the basis of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. But all this is allegorical. Then how long you are going to live? But also, the whole plan comes along with your birth. And bhoga, the types of enjoyments that will come to you, led by your karmas. But while you are living your life, God has given you a powerful gift, the ability to do Purushartha, self-effort. Your self-effort can change your entire prarabdha, no matter whatever prarabdha you may have. If prarabdha is for you to live for a very short time, don't worry about it. Shankaracharya had that type of prarabdha. Jesus had that type of prarabdha. Didn't live up to 80, 85, 90, 95. Many great personalities lived up to just 30, 32 years and so passed on. But that doesn't mean much. Simply living a long life is not a matter of great fortune. It's a matter of great fortune if you are living your long life with your interest, with your devotion to your sadhana. If sadhana continues, your life is wonderful. Every day that you increase in your life is enriching to you. But if sadhana is not continuing, you are just living a dull-wit life. That doesn't have much purpose. So, if you are doing right type of Purushartha, no matter whatever may be, whatever time is allotted to you, you will attain the highest goal. You can attain liberation in your lifetime. That's the goal, the ideal presented before all spiritual aspirants. And next point, bhoga. No matter whatever might have been your karmas of the past, those karmas will present to you in this life situations of adversity and prosperity. The role of adversity and prosperity is very similar to the role of day and night, unless you live in North Pole. Imagine the joy of having a defined experience of day and night. But when you look at it, day is bright, night is dark. Day is prosperity, night is adversity. But both are needed in your practical world. Both are needed in your spiritual world. Adversity makes you think, reflect, exercise your will, discover your faith, allow your faith to become strong, turn your mind to God. Adversity, when it's becoming a channel for leading you to sadhana, to spirituality. That adversity is a greater blessing than good karmas of your past. Why did it happen? Your Purushartha did it. Your self-effort changes. Suppose you are having pleasant times. Why are you having pleasant times? Good karmas of the past. But if these pleasant times have made you vain, with inflated mind, not like flamboyant, then that prosperity, the result of good karma, has driven you to dullness. And in that state of illusion and elation, you might do negative karmas, sow seeds of karmas that will bring negative results. So it doesn't matter what karma you are facing, but handled by your self-effort, you have the ability to make the best of it. If it is adversity, it will turn it into austerity. It will purify your heart, bring you closer to God. Prosperity, allow your mind to become more magnanimous. Adversity enriches you in one way, prosperity in another. Just like you are driving the car. There are times when you have to go uphill, moving up on the road, Washington type of roads. And there are times we have to come down. As a driver, your skill you have to be alert while going up. But your alertness should be more acute when you are suddenly coming down the slope. Handle prosperity as if you are driving the car uphill. Handle prosperity as if car is coming down without effort. But remember, car should not take hold of you and start driving you. All this I'm relating to understand. And when you talk of karma, karma is not something to make you feel helpless, miserable. Karma is just to make you understand that you have all the materials for austerity, for sadhana, for progress, for coming closer to God. God is your real karma. To attain union with God. For every baby, the karma is to get united with mother. For every soul, the real purpose is to get united with God. So as I was explaining, just to give you that. Samskaras, impressions, they are the seeds of karmas. From those seeds come another level, vasanas, sprouted seeds. Vasanas are subconscious level of karmas. From vasanas arise vrittis, thought waves. Just like seeds, when they start germinating, they begin to show. The sprouts come above the earth. So you can see little sprouts. The vasanas are that way. And then the sprouts straighten themselves up. Vrittis. At that stage, you can easily crush those sprouts or chew them up. A better simile is a negative karma is sprouting. It is like a spark of fire. If your intellect is well disciplined, cultured, immediately recognize this karma you are not going to encourage. You will not allow it to become more dense or more materialized. And therefore, you simply turn your attention from that. You don't even have to smash it. Just watch it, move your head. Don't even move it. And the vritti dies. But led by karmic process, you give attention to that vritti. If you have viveka buddhi, discrimination in your mind, then you recognize what vritti to be encouraged and what is not to be encouraged. You move away from bigger troubles in a very simple way. But then what happens? The vrittis turn into desires. Your mind has well-defined desires. And if desires continue to persist, they are called longing. They become Trishna. More Trishna, no Krishna. Trishna leads you to karmas. Karmas can be virtuous karmas, vicious karmas, good karmas, negative karmas. Karmas give you experiences of pleasure and pain. Good karmas, virtuous karmas will give you pleasure, pleasant situation. Evil karmas give you painful situation. While experiencing pleasant situations, you are creating impressions of raga. Unpleasant situations, impressions of dvesha. In brief, you are creating samskaras. Samskaras go into your unconscious, the vast storehouse. From samskaras arise vasanas. From vasanas arise vrittis. Vrittis turn into desires. Desires turn into longings. Longings lead you to karmas, actions. Actions result in experiences of pleasure and pain. These experiences are recorded. They go into deep unconscious. Samskaras. Samskaras become vasana. I can use a whole lecture on that. Prakriti kriyamanan. All actions are performed by the gunas of Prakriti. All this, from samskaras and all the vrittis, etc., the whole cycle operates in Prakriti. Prakriti is another name for Maya. Indian philosophy has given many types of concepts about how Brahman relates himself to this world process. I will not go into those details. Vedanta gives you the ultimate, the climax. If you focus on Vedantic plan of studying the world, you are following the right course. And Vedantic plan, again, though I have repeated several times, it's called Gada Parinyaya, hammering down again and again. Brahman, the Absolute, alone is real. You have to work upon it. Whenever your mind thinks of what is real, mind has already a biased concept of reality. Real means it will look like something, it can be touched, it can be handled, it can be used, but that's not real. Without going into much details about the real, let me give you the plan. Brahman alone is the absolute, pure awareness. When you go into deep sleep, the entire world is not there. That gives you a little indication of the absolute reality. Because deep sleep brings you very close, but sleep also is fluctuating. You have different degrees of sleep. You are not absolutely stripped of the world. To a great extent, you get a little glimpse. Sleep experience is a minus experience, like plus, minus. The absolute reality is plus, Brahman. Negation experience in sleep, if Brahman is plus 4, deep sleep is minus 4. But focus on the 4, not plus or minus. Sleep gives you a sufficient insight that you can be without your body, without your mind, without your intellect, without your ego, and without the big world you have been studying, the world of past, present, and future. And nothing has gone wrong. You are perfectly wonderful. When you wake up, you say, I slept so soundly. I knew nothing. I knew nothing. That is the big mantra. When you allow your I to be rid of all things that are thought of by the mind, you reach absolute nothingness. That was Buddha's way of saying. That's the goal, nirvana. Nirvana is your reality. Now let me give you just the plan of Brahman. Absolute self is like a magician with a magical power. His magical power is called Prakriti. A magician and his magical power are both the same. Those who are under the influence of his magic, for them, Brahman and his magical power are two things. Those who are not deluded by the magic, Brahman alone exists. So that's the reality for those who are enlightened. But now, with greater reality, that scriptures are not taught for the enlightened. They are taught for those who are not enlightened. Now you view Prakriti in three stages. Sattva predominating Prakriti. That's what's called Maya. Brahman through Maya adopts three roles. Brahma as creator of the world of time and space. Vishnu, sustainer of the world. Shiva, dissolver of the world. Creation, sustenance, dissolution. Look at everything in the world. These three are moving on. Look at a little plant coming up. A seed is destroyed as the sprout comes. The sprout gets destroyed as it turns into something else. And what it will be, that the creative movement. Creation goes on. But while the creation goes on, there is a sustaining process. An end result, when the tree has brought its fruits, etc., Shiva plucks the fruit and the whole tree demolishes. I'm joking, but everything, everywhere you see the creation, sustenance, dissolution. And it applies in every level. The whole world comes to exist by his creative movement, sustained by his presence. Into him the entire world dissolves. All these roles are through Maya. Maya. So the magician, Brahman, through Maya Shakti is appearing as Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. As such, these three roles are absolutely enlightened. Vishnu never forgets who am I. He is always Brahman. Shiva is always Brahman. Brahma is always Brahman. But the same Brahman, through Rajas predominating Prakriti. Rajas predominating Prakriti is called avidya. Sattva predominating Prakriti is called Maya. So now same Brahman, through Rajas predominating Prakriti, expresses himself in the form of countless souls, evolving through the world of matter. Just like the same sun, on the earth planet, it creates countless reflections, countless reflected suns. And each reflected sun has its own destiny. Sun reflecting in a jar, what will happen to it? When it will shake, when will it be poured into another jar? Who knows? Countless stories for each soul. They are jivas. These jivas, when they have developed keen interest in understanding themselves, they come to study the scriptures, they come for satsanga, These jivas have their goal of having spiritual evolution and enlightenment. Enlightened jiva becomes liberated. But those who are not enlightened, they continue. That's the story of the jivas. Though all the jivas are nothing but Brahman, through rajas predominating prakriti, known as avidya. Now, still Brahman is not finished. Tadas predominating prakriti. Prakriti has three: sattva predominating, rajas predominating, tamas predominating. Brahman, through tamas predominating prakriti, becomes panchabhutas, God particles, tanamatras. Tanamatras, they go into combinations and permutations to create mind, intellect, ego, senses, and all the experiences of that occur through your mind and sense. They are not, they are all matter from a spiritual point of view, subtle matter, tanamatras. Now those tanamatras, they bring out by their combinations gross elements. Gross elements, that's what, which have composed this entire world. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. So entire world experience, the experience of all your senses, all experiences arising out of mind, intellect and ego, they are all under tamasi prakriti. Therefore, whatever is happening in the realm of prakriti, not in the realm of the self which you are. The soul within you is Brahman. Through Rajasi Prakriti. All that you need to do, change that Rajasi Prakriti into Sattvic Prakriti. And then you are attuned to God. Rajasi Prakriti, as long as the Rajas predominates, you remain a soul, moving by karmas from bucket to bucket, from body to body. But if you learn the art of changing the structure of gunas within you, allowing the sattva to become predominant. As sattva begins to become predominant, find yourself connected to Vishnu, Shiva, Brahma. And what's more, you are connected to Brahman, Tattvamasi. Thou art that. And there lies the secret of a Jiva becoming Shiva. So this Gita says, all actions are performed by the gunas of Prakriti. But if one's intellect is dull due to inflation of egoism, he feels that I am the doer. It's a double illusion. First illusion, I am, because we don't know what you are talking about. Another illusion, doer. Who is doing? And what are you talking about? In dream, you have easy understanding. While dreaming, you are there. You are doing something. Wake up, ask yourself. The doer of the dream was meaningless. And whatever the doer was doing in the dream was meaningless. This being so, allow your understanding to promotes sattva in your nature. As sattva begins to develop within you, you are changing the stuff of the jiva. Rajas predominating Prakriti is being changed to sattva predominating Prakriti. As that happens, the jiva is now moving into communion with Shiva until jiva is completely identified with Vishnu, Brahma. And as such, there is no Maya either. The magic is over. That's known as Tattvamasi, thou art that. All the activities that happen through your mind, through your words, through your physical actions, all these are in the realm of Gunas. The self in you, the absolute self, is absolutely untouched. In different allegorical way to understand, all your activities are like clouds in different formations. The self in you is like the sky. The sky is not bothered by your karmas. Clouds can fluff up, become intense, create terror. The sky is not terrorized. The sky simply embraces them and folds. These clouds can turn up into silvery and wonderful colors. And the sky, in no way the sky is becoming elated because of it. The sky remains just the same. The deepest level, the consciousness within you is like the sky. And that's what you are. When you come to that level of depth within yourself, that will require day-to-day effort. Situations, circumstances, they give you challenge. You find your mind agitated. You are lost in that agitation. Think of it. Remember what you have heard. I am the sky. But while doing that, practical insight. How can I? First, to understand, I am not gripped by it. This is not reality. Say, for example, you are fighting against anger, hate. First, to develop the idea, it is not to be proud of. It is something negative. No matter how miserable you are, don't hurt yourself. When the monkeys feel miserable, they beat them. When people feel miserable, they create raga, dvesha, attachment, hatred. They are two tusks of illusion. And they allow themselves to be hurt terribly. I've developed the tendency of going wide. But what I'm leading you to understand that as you develop that sense of facing adversity, challenging situations with a well-planned method, a method that involves day-to-day involvement, called integral yoga. Highlight of that is satsanga, good association. Allow your mind to think of these. These thoughts should enter. Just like food must enter your body day by day. These thoughts should enter your heart, your mind, again and again. Again and again you should be inspired by them. Again and again you try to bring it in your life. No matter how little you succeed, That tiny success gathers momentum. You never know how self-effort gets blended with divine grace. Tattvavittu mahabaho gunakarma vibhagayo gunaguneshu vartante iti matva na sajjate. But, O mighty armed Arjuna, one who knows the truth about the gunas, the karmas, and the actionless self, all this I have explained. Such a person is not attached, since he knows that the gunas operate among the gunas. Gunas have created your mind, intellect, senses. Gunas have created the material world, all the objects. All that is happening within you is gunas interacting with gunas. All that is happening in the sky is clouds interacting with clouds. Don't get involved with it. Even though you see patches of blue, which are pieces of cloud, seems like a piece of cloud, piece of the sky, limited and affected by clouds. But that type of experience applies to Jivas. Every individual soul is a patch of blue, being affected by your circumstances and situations. But if you are enlightened, the patch of blue knows I am this. It is not something that it has to learn. That's the reality. Patch of blue can stay a patch of blue, shaking along with clouds. But at the deeper level, laughing with this. That's called Jiva. Guna guneshu vartante. All these gunas, modes of nature, act with the modes of nature. And the self is absolutely untouched. Prakritir guna sammudha sajjante guna karmas tana Krishna vido mandan Krishna vinna vichalayet. Deluded by the gunas of Prakriti, ignorant men are attached to actions arising out of the gunas. Those who are in possession of the truth, they should not confuse those who have imperfect understanding. A very practical point is brought out, that as you spiritually advance, you are becoming master of your sense. Senses include the mind and senses. When you have started your sadhana, at that time you are not the master. As you move with the sadhana and progress, increasingly you become the master of your mind and senses. If you have attained enlightenment, you have become absolute master. As you are progressing, it becomes a natural expression of spiritual movement. The people around you, they are also lifted. A wave tries to raise itself. It becomes automatic that other waves have to rise with it. So, it is like you become a teacher. Whether you call yourself teacher or not, people are inspired by you as you advance. Knowing that you mean great to people around you, there is a double responsibility. You should act in a way that people don't get confused. Say, for example, you can enter into meditation without mala, without japa. But seeing people around you who take your mala, sit in a meditative pose, repeat your mantras, we're trying to help them. Otherwise, they will say, we'll follow his example. He has no routine for when he should do meditate, etc. And he's completely free. He's out of mind. Let's follow. The whole world has become mithya for him, and he is completely beyond. Let's follow him. Encouraging that type of movement is extremely dull wit, negative, demoniac. Therefore, along with your responsibility to raise yourself, understand, allow people around you also to be lifted. Along with your process of becoming inwardly peaceful and joyous, see to it that that joy trickles into the heart of others also. It's a double benefit. When you see them happy, your happiness flourishes more. When you see people around you becoming harmonized, peaceful, your love for peace swells up. Big difficulty has been with people is that spiritual evolution, they feel it is something subjective. So let the people go to hell, I'm going to liberation. As long as that view you have, it is not religion. And with this I will conclude. Om Shanti.